Hello, BWR. Yeah, just running through your example, your question for TOPS. I thought it'd be easy just to talk it through. So here's your setup. I've tried to get this back to how it was when you left it alone. So I can run the ROP geometry, and you can see that there's a certain amount of spin up time, but eventually it kicks off and does its thing. So on my machine, it's about 10 seconds to start up from the time you click it to the first work item actually doing work. And it's about the same for the ROP fetch. So there we are, but once it starts, they're pretty quick. And you can do the same for the ROP fetch. I found an interesting way to keep track of timing, because I would have assumed you could middle click here and see timing information. I think it should be there, but it's not. This little duvik up here, if you click that, you get this nice interface that shows exactly how long were the cook times per work item. So it's about 15 seconds. So like I explained in the forum post, what's happening is TOPS is spinning up a hyphen per work item. So if your Houdini takes about 10 seconds, then each hyphen will normally take about 10 seconds to start. You can bypass that by using services. So you can do that from this thing that doesn't look like a menu, but it's actually a menu. You click tasks up here, and you go down to PDG services. So by default, it should look like this, where there's a service ready to go, but it's not actually started yet. So let's just go with that for now, and we'll click start. So it takes, unsurprisingly, about 10 seconds to start. But when you get the little green light means good. There we are. So now you can close that window. And to run this again, so I'm going to right click and go delete the results from disk. Now they're all gone. And I'm going to go across to services and say, yes, use services. So now let's see what happens when we run this again. So you can see that they start almost straight away. And so rather than taking 15 seconds, they're now about half a second per thing. You can make it go even faster by saying how many kind of worker threads will be available through services. So let's delete this again. Go back to the PDG services, and we'll get rid of this guy. So I'm going to right click on it and go remove service. I'm going to add a service, and this time I'm going to make the pool size be 10. I'm going to go add and start. So this will take a bit longer to start, because now it's going to start 10 worker threads in the background. There we go, green light. Okay, so now if I run this again, so I've still got services enabled, and I hit go, Shift V. They run pretty fast. I thought that was faster. Interestingly, if you run it again, so I'll delete it and run it again, oftentimes the second go through is run much faster. So I'm not sure if there's some optimization under the hood for there's a bunch of hips now lying around waiting to just be sent out, but it's generally faster. So with your OpenGL ROP, I found just as is. So I've put all this back to mostly defaults, and the only thing I change is I go to services and use ROP fetch service. So if I do that now and run it, slightly longer start time the first time. Come on, don't make a liar out of me. 5, 6, there we are. So that's taken 8 seconds to start on average for most of these. But I assure you, if I run it again, so delete the results and start again, it's nearly instant. Interestingly, you would think, well, if I could, so that's running 10 worker threads. But if I could, because it's an OpenGL ROP, surely it'd be faster if it's all just like in the one worker thread and it's just doing it like it's a little frame sequence, which is what this is meant to do, all frames in one batch. So if I try that and hit go, you immediately get a warning, and it takes a while to start again. And if you look at the warning, it's saying services mode is on, but it can't do batches. So it goes back to vanilla cook mode, meaning that it's now spinning up 10 individual hyphens. Quite annoying. So rather than wait for that, well, we can just see how long this takes normally. So even though this is saying it's 0.3 seconds, we saw that it's taking about 10 seconds to spin up the jobs. I think that cook time should be built into these numbers, but what you can do. If I turn that off again and delete and cook again, 2, 3, there you go. So it's back to 2 seconds, which is good. The same holds for doing COPS. So if I put down a ROP composite, and I'm going to just generate it so I can see what's going on inside, I'll click a single thing and I'll dive inside. So this is one of the results that was made on disk. Just to prove that it's doing stuff, I'll put down a font SOP, put that into actually going over the image and add, goes like that. and I'll make it show the current PDG work item, PDG item, PDG, what is it? Index. Let's go for index. There you go. So it just shows us the index. What do I do? PDG input. That's what I want. Silly me. So I just want to see the name of the image that is being pulled. There we are. So if I zoom back, you can see there it is. I'll make the text a bit small so I can actually read the thing. Okay, so that's going to show us the text overlaid. Fabulous. I'll make that the output. I'll make it generate a JPEG on disk because I'm lazy. So again, if I leave it in its default mode, it'll be spinning up Pythons. That's quite slow. But if I turn on services like that and hit go, then it's almost instant to cook. So now I can see I've got all these things on disk and they all have their text on them. So it's all working treat. Yeah, the in-process scheduler stuff, that was my intuition of that'll be faster still. So then it's not trying to use external Pythons or services or otherwise. It would just do it in here, but it doesn't work with almost everything. So it's kind of a dead end there. But yeah, hopefully that'll speed things up. Oh, the other thing you can do is if I go back to the tasks, the services, yeah, the pool size. I think I mentioned that before. So by default, it'll just make one sort of worker thread, but you can have as many as you kind of feel like chancy for doing. 10 seems pretty good. So you see all these things, really kind of get a acceleration when you have lots and lots of work items. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Bye.